this is likely going to get me, into trouble even saying that, but I'm asking a question because I don't understand, I guess, okay? When it comes to the real Native Americans. So, like, there's the Lumbee tribe, okay? And they're out of North Carolina, and Trump's recognizing them. He's pushing it forward. They were big supporters of him. And they were a mixed tribe of Europeans and Indians, okay? So they'll get federal recognition. But overall, with this Indian status, what confuses me, okay, especially with this whole, that when the healthcare end comes into it, is when you're recognized as being, you're under a special status. They're allowed their acres of the land that's theirs. So those boundaries are there, and they're allowed to self-govern the way they want to. They also don't have to pay taxes. But then we're supposed to cover their health care. So, okay, and I'm not saying, okay, so, and again, I don't know all the ins and outs of it. It does say here that the U.S. government entered into over 500 treaties with tribal nations between 1778 and 1871, establishing agreements that often included land boundaries and rights for Native Americans. The treaty-making era ended in 1871 when the U.S. ceased recognizing individual tribes as independent nations, but existing treaties remained valid and enforceable. The Supreme Court ruled that the federal government must provide additional funding to cover administrative costs for Native American tribes that operate their own healthcare programs. This decision aims to prevent funding shortfalls and support tribes' self-determination in managing their health care. Federally recognized tribes are exempt from federal taxes as they are considered sovereign governments. However, individual tribe members are subject to federal income taxes with some exceptions for income derived from trust lands. Federally recognized tribes have a unique relationship with the U.S. government, which includes a responsibility to provide health care services through programs like the Indian Health Service. These tribes often face challenges in accessing health care, including higher uninsured rates and geographic isolation impacting their overall health outcomes. So, and yeah, it says Americans are responsible for paying for tribal health care due to the federal government's trust responsibility, which mandates that it provide health care services to Native American tribes. This obligation stems from treaties and agreements made between the U.S. government and tribal nations, recognizing their sovereignty and the need for equitable services. So this is where I'm just confused. Okay, is so they're considered a separate government, right? They want to self-govern. They're considered a separate government. So they don't have to pay taxes. So then I'm assuming the reason we have to pay for the health care is because they were here for, like, I'm just really confused by it. Because if you're going to be part of the healthcare system, but then you don't, does anybody follow what I'm saying? I'm just confused by it. And I'm sure there's a lot more than what I'm to all of it. It's just, and I'm not saying, I mean we pay for, I certainly would rather pay for the American Indians, here in this land than send our money all over the damn world. Okay, that's for sure. So it's not that. It's that if you want to self-govern and you want to create your own healthcare system, then why does this other, it's the same thing. Like they're considered their own country in a way within their lands, okay? And granted, many of them haven't been respected, and I think there's many that shouldn't be recognized that are in many ways, okay? Because it's been like, it's people playing Indian to do land grabs, okay? Because it's a great, I mean, it's a great gig if you get federally recognized. The American people then pay for your health insurance. You don't have to pay any taxes. You can govern your land any way you want. So it just, I mean, I guess that's the price, right? We pay. I don't know. I don't get it. I'm not. And again, somebody will come after me and say, "Oh, you're right." No, I'm just trying to understand because I don't get it. Because if you want your own country and you want to govern the way you want, but then you want everybody else to handle your health because you don't. I mean, does anybody follow what I'm just? Sometimes it just seems like, you know what? America's issues just will never be ironed out because there's too much bullshit with all of it.